Good evening, buenas noches, and thank you for tuning in. On behalf of Mitchell Kaplan, Miami Book Fair, and all of us at Books and Books, I welcome you to a virtual evening with Kathy Manning, Tung Nguyen, and Chef Michelle Bernstein to celebrate the publication of Mango and Peppercorns, a memoir of food, an unlikely family, and the American dream, published by Chronicle Books. Kathy Manning is a native of the American Midwest. She resettled Vietnamese refugees in 1975, supported by Lutheran World Relief. Kathy was a math teacher for 3 years, but found greater purpose in celebrating Tung Nguyen's food, running Hy Vong restaurant, and learning from people of different backgrounds. She's traveled to Vietnam on 5 occasions. In 1994, she was the first American that the Vietnamese government allowed to stay within the countryside in Dien Ban, Quang Nam, Vietnam, Tung's home province. Tung Nguyen's grandmother taught her how to cook from childhood. In her 20s, she took her skills from the country to the city and made and sold street food in Saigon. At the fall of Saigon in 1975, recognizing that her life was in danger, Tung jumped into a refugee boat bound for America. Upon arrival in the U.S., Tung met Kathy, and 4 years later, they opened Hy Vong restaurant in Miami, which won many awards for its authentic Vietnamese food. To moderate tonight's conversation, we're joined by the wonderful Chef Michelle Bernstein. Chef Bernstein is a James Beard Award winner, Best Chef South 2008, and cookbook author of Cuisine a Latina. She is a Miami native of Jewish and Latin descent. Chef Bernstein cooks food inspired by her culinary memories and travels. With her husband and partner, David Martinez, they own and operate NBC Michelle Bernstein Catering Company, Sweet Liberty, along with her newest endeavor, Café La Trova, a Cuban-inspired bar and cafe in Little Havana. She also hosts 2 Emmy Award-winning TV series, Check Please, South Florida, and So Flow Taste. Throughout this evening's broadcast, you're invited to ask questions by clicking the Ask a Question button at the bottom of the screen, and you can order your copy of Mango and Peppercorns from Books and Books below by pressing the green button. We appreciate each and every order and the generous donations from viewers everywhere. And now, without further ado, I'd like to welcome our guests to the virtual stage. Hello there.
Hi.
Welcome, welcome.
Hi, beautiful ladies.
Hi.
Hi.
Good to see you. Thank you very much for doing this. Thank you.
Don't thank me. I am honored. As you know, I was honored to write the foreword of this beautiful book. And I don't know why you chose me, but I'm just honored that you did. And I grew up going to Hy Vong. You all inspired me to cook better, to eat better. And you both taught me about flavor. And your book is passionate and emotional. I was just crying with you a few minutes ago. And it takes us on both of your journeys somehow together in a very beautiful and just a very kind of smooth ride. And I want to encourage, I don't think the ride was smooth, but the book is. And so I encourage everyone, maybe you're not a cook and maybe you don't want to cook from this book, which, you know, Tung, let's face it, not all these recipes are that easy. But if you want a beautiful story about 2 strong, incredible women, and eventually 3 strong, incredible women, then I suggest you buy this book. Click that button, because this story is captivating, as both of you have always been to me. Mm-hmm. So with that, I guess I'm going to start. I have a few questions, and then Kathy, you're going to start to read a little bit, some excerpts. And I do ask everyone that might have a really good question for these 2 amazing women and people to use that little ask a question button on the bottom. I'm looking at it, it's the right-hand corner, because it will make this even more interesting if you all would like to know anything about Tung or Kathy or both. So what I want to know, Tung, is what did you think of Kathy when you first met her?
Wow.
I know that that's a big question. We're talking about a big personality.
God, I may remember before. So hard, so tough.
Okay.
Welcome, America.
Where did you think I was? Hey.
Now you ask me that very hard. I answer to you.
Okay, Miss O, answer. I was beautiful. Thank them for what you thought. Then I get to tell what I thought.
Okay, you thought.
You come later. You come. No, you come later. Tung, this is for you, because what you talk about at the beginning of this book was really, you know, meeting Kathy for the first time and how bombastic she was, and her presence and her loud voice and her big personality. No offense, Kathy. And her big personality, you know, and I want to know really what you thought.
No, really, me from. Oh, you know, cry every day first.
You cried every day.
And God, they look like what? I told you now. No, look like Kathy. I don't know what they look like, Kathy.
You never saw anyone that looked like Kathy before.
No shame. Completely no shame now. No, and begin I come America, and I know she in the body shame her, and I know, oh my God, Kathy America, but her look very different. Her hair long, her little but
Chubby. She before she called me fat. Now she's on internet and she's calling me a little chubby.
Well, she likes you more now.
What?
Now look better. Now look normal woman. Look good. Now
she's beautiful.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
Now
yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Her is Vietnamese food.
She's my friend.
Her is Vietnamese food. Before her eat no shame, now her eat total Vietnamese food. Look her now. Wonderful.
So Kathy.
Yeah, my turn, right?
Well, not yet. What I want to know is, I know that Tung was cooking for you at your house when she arrived.
All Vietnamese. For
all Vietnamese food.
Yeah, all of them.
And how did that affect you? What did that do to you, tasting that food for the first time?
So I had eaten, one of my roommates at the university was Vietnamese. So I had eaten Vietnamese food. And Tung came into my house and we had 14 Vietnamese, every class that never would have been together in Vietnam. And she started cooking, but she never sat down with us. I used to say, where's Tung, where's Tung? But she put these beautiful meals. And you know what? They were delicious. They were delicious. I had never tasted anything so good. I had eaten pho in Washington, D.C. and all in Atlanta, but I had not eaten anything like her food. And it just kept getting better. It was really good.
Oh, hey, Kathy, we do have a question, not really a question, a comment. They want you to, the guests would like you to adjust the screen so that the two of you can be seen at the same time. Is that possible? There we go. That's a little bit,
Right.
Perfect. Okay, great. Thank you. And thank you. I think that was Alexander or Alexandra. Sorry, I didn't read it quickly enough. Okay, so another question goes to Tung. I know that stock is very important to you, a good stock, right?
Yeah.
Is the base to a lot of your cooking.
Yeah.
So what is the secret to making such a beautiful stock?
Okay, what is it?
How do you make good stock?
Okay, you are on stock on the beef bone and pork bone and the chicken
Bone or
chicken
Backs.
bạc
backs.
bone,
Yeah.
yeah, bạc bone
Mm-hmm.
and chicken wing and chicken leg, turkey leg,
Turkey wing and
wing
turkey.
and leg.
All of those things together?
Yeah, all together.
Really?
Yeah, makeup and the beef bone and the pork bone, and I take that and stuck so weak, and I can't take. I can't take. I can't take. I know okay, and I know okay. What do I eat? What do I take? Everybody popular eating me, and I try and I cook turkey wing and turkey leg and turkey vặt. What a turkey, and the more chicken, more bone pork and the beef pork, beef bone.
Right. And she
Yeah.
makes chicken stock. But what she told me was that when she got here, she made stock and
Yeah.
it was too weak. There
Yeah.
was no flavor. And she says the bones are not good here. And Vietnam, the pig or the cow or whatever ate the bran from rice. I mean, you know, and it had flavor. When she got here, she couldn't get the flavor she wanted. So then she started experimenting and she tried turkey wings, and then she was happy with her stuff.
There's a richness to turkey wing that you don't get in chicken. It's a more rounded flavor and it really coats the palate, I find.
Yes.
But my question to you guys is, how did you make money at Hy Vong when you had to buy so many different cuts of so many different animals? I know, but my goodness, Kathy, to buy turkey bones, wings, and chicken wings, and pork bones, and beef bones, it adds up. And when stock is expensive and stock is the base of all of your cooking, then everything is expensive, right? Sorry, I lost an earpiece.
The stock for pho cost $100 a pound. So that's the stock for pho. And how many did we get out of the stock?
How many
soups out of one pan?
About 30.
About 30. So
30.
we got 30 soups out of that
30.
stock.
And that's not including all the stuff that went into it.
Right. It doesn't include the fresh basil, you know, and everything affects flavor. So if you try and get by with inferior products, it's going to taste inferior. So my job was buying, and she hated it because I spent money. I didn't think that she could make exquisite food with inferior products. So our beef was filet mignon,
right?
For pho. Nothing with accent and stuff.
I remember whenever I would go for dinner, and I would go pretty much every year since I was about, 7 or 8. I remember when your fish would come in and your fish purveyors would come in. I remember that. And I remember watching you inspect the fish.
Yeah.
And I remember how important it was to you because, it was such a great small place that you would inspect everything. And it was amazing to watch, obviously, both of you, because you could watch Tung doing her magic. But the secret was the fact that you were also inspecting everything like a general back there. It was
right. And inspecting the food when it came out the window, right?
Yeah.
A bad day, just by accident, maybe the duck was overdone. But if I complained to her, we couldn't. So I just pretended that someone else wanted a duck. And I told people, look, take this duck home and eat this duck. So it was fun. It was challenging. Yeah.
All right. So Kathy, Kathy, go ahead, and if you wouldn't mind reading an excerpt from the book, and I'll just remind everyone that Kathy is reading an excerpt from Mango and Peppercorns, which you can purchase by pressing that green button. All right, go for it, Kathy.
Okay, this is a passage where I learned that Tung really cared about what she did. She cared about the quality. So when Tung started saying "fa" a few weeks into her stay with me, I realized she wanted to make the traditional Vietnamese soup I once had during a trip to Washington, D.C. Excited to eat pho in my own home, I took Tung to a nearby Asian grocery store. Fortunately, she found the necessary rice noodles and fish sauce and some beef and pork bones for stock. She had already rummaged through our pantry, and found star anise, which my mother used to flavor iced tea. After a few hours at the stove, she summoned all of us for dinner. I sat down to a magical soup, rich anise-flavored broth with silky noodles, then slices of sweet onions and beef tenderloin, lots of herbs and wedge of lime. I looked up from my soup reverie. That big family is the Vietnamese family, said nothing, though they were slurping away every last drip. I expected to see Tung smiling back at me. Instead, she was peering into her bowl, shaking her head in disgust. "No good," she said. I shook my head in confusion. How could she not love this soup? What could possibly be wrong? So, unable to argue with her, I ended up taking her back to the store a few days later. I watched her prowl around the aisles more carefully this time, and suddenly saw her light up. In front of her was a refrigerated case full of other types of bones, marrow bones and cut into cylinders, beef knuckles, turkey wing, pig's feet, beef feet. She bought more bones than I thought could possibly fit into the pot. Her second broth was thicker, stronger, richer. "This is even more delicious," I told her. This time, Tung didn't glare at me. Her small face broke into a wide smile. That's where I learned that Tung cared. And if you get her to tell you that her philosophy was she wouldn't have anybody eat what she wouldn't eat. And she took a lot of pride in her cooking.
Did you eventually make the other Vietnamese family members smile or get excited over your food? The people that were living with you all?
They knew it was good. And actually in Vietnam, it was her job to cook, so they knew it was her job, but they wouldn't compliment her, but they loved it. They loved it.
So speaking of that, Tung, do you want to tell us a little bit about who taught you to cook and how you learned to be so good?
Okay. Again, I live with my grandma.
Her grandma.
Very poor country.
Very poor country.
Very poor country. And long time to go, not have food. Not have
food.
Right. And they and one time a big party in Big Day, right?
Right. They have a party for the day that you die. Everybody gets together. So
Yeah, right. My grandma thought, okay, go cut chicken and go and cook. And I thought, oh my God, grandma, cook chicken. How did I cook? What did I cook? How? I don't know how. Có really good. I was 7 years, 6 years, and I don't know how that I cook. And grandma nó go, learn cook. Okay, go ahead. Learn cook.
Learn cook.
Learn to cook. Learn to cook. Yeah.
Learn cook. And I know, oh my God, okay, learn cook. And thế bà cô Vietnamese and every family and the day people die and go and I go I eat and I think I teach that okay and I go back go home my grandma and I go cut chicken and I try my grandma okay what do you cook then I try grandma I try what do you try and I try chicken sweet potato, chicken lemon wrap. I don't know, but I try. Yeah, and I try, and her loved it, and her oh wow, you learn so fast. And okay, thank you, thank you. And that bà Lý, and I learn more. And come America, and I open my more. And I have to mind you and believe it.
Unbelievable, she said.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And come American and have to mind you. And people popular so loved it. And I go, yeah.
So you learned very well how to make chicken, and that chicken with lemongrass that you used to make at Hy Vong has always stuck with, I think, most of Miami.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, Alexandra asked, the same young lady asked a question. I heard that there have been some pop-ups since the restaurant closed. Can we expect a pop-up following the end of the pandemic? Are you all still doing your pop-up menus?
Okay, so we did pop-ups and then COVID started. And pop-ups were really fun. It gave Tung a chance to come out of the kitchen and meet people. And then COVID, and we had some time off, and then we said, let's do pickups. So we've been doing pickups. And what happens is we cook at a church, we bring it home and pack it. And
so busy, Michelle.
So busy.
I'm busy, right. And we take it home and pack it so people just drive by and we put it in the car.
So people are asking how to order. Where can they go to order? So
hyvong.com. Usually I write on Facebook when we're going to have a pickup. We try and do 2 times a month. Okay, so we have one coming up the 3rd of April, but it's sold out this time. Okay, it sells out.
Doesn't it always sell out?
Yeah, it always sells out. We think, we think. So people don't come in or anything. We just put the box of food in their car and it's all COVID safe.
Right. They're asking, Christina, I don't know if this is possible. They want to shrink me and expand the Hy Vong pair. I guess they don't like my face. So if you can make me a little smaller, which I don't mind at all, and expand on Tung and Kathy, that's what they would like you to do. If you can do that.
I can't really do that. I don't have the capability. So what I would suggest is maybe again that they adjust their screen a little bit. If they can move the computer a little bit.
I see them both.
I do
really
too.
well.
So, but
Yeah.
I guess other people don't. I see them both.
I don't know.
Okay.
I guess Don Nicholson really wants to see the two of them and wants to shrink me. I would like to shrink me too, Don, just so you know.
I'm
okay.
sorry, but I cannot shrink or expand anyone.
Yeah.
Well, this is good. This is good.
All right. So, you know what? Before I ask any more questions, I would love for you to read the next excerpt, if you don't mind, Kathy. That would be great.
I would love to, because the passages I chose show Tung growing. There's a process. She didn't have any self-esteem. She came from the country in Vietnam, and they aren't even allowed to go into fancy hotels and things. So her growth in America, and I watched it. That's what was fun for me, was her growth and her self-esteem, knowing that she was somebody. She had value. She was something. And this is, and in that process, we laughed a lot. Because not laugh at her, but we tried to get her to laugh with us. Because I joke all the time and I like to play around and stuff. But this is where Tung, this is where she's been here a while. Tung had gotten her green card a few years after arriving in Miami, then became a U.S. citizen in 1983. She failed the citizenship the first time she took it. So Phuong Lyn, that's a daughter, who was 6, and I helped her study more for the next one. We taught her the word Congress by having her memorize Cong, the Vietnamese word for child, and dress, which was something that she'd sewn for Phuong Lyn. To learn then President Ronald Reagan's name, we used the word dragon because with her accent, it sounded like Reagan. Phuong Lyn tried to accompany her mother into the second interview, but the agent waved her finger at Phuong Lyn, no. Tung managed to pass on her own the second time. The next step was to get her driver's license. On Tung's first try, parallel parking, she smacked into the cone behind her. On her second try, she hit the cone in front. Both times she arrived home from the Department of Motor Vehicle. Phuong and I heard the front door slam shut. After the third try, we heard the door slam and whispered to each other, "Not today." After the fourth try, the slam was even louder. We just looked at each other and giggled. When Tung returned from the fifth try, Phuong and I braced ourselves. We heard the door open, then shut gently. We looked at each other in excitement and dashed into the living room to greet the new driver. Then the next little thing talks about her going shopping with us, and we took 2 cars because she wanted to do something. And Phuong and I and her were looking for a swing. And she wanted to go ahead home. So we said, go straight. Phuong said, Ma, which is mother, go straight, thinking that she would find the exit. But she ended up when we got home, Tung wasn't there. A few hours later, we heard her come in and slam the door. It turned out she had gone straight for so long that she had ended up in North Miami Beach, about 15 miles away. Then she pulled over in confusion and called a tow truck to tow her home. Phong Lyn and I couldn't help but laugh. Eventually, Tung did too. So these are the things that refugees go through. You know, she had never driven in Vietnam. She didn't go anywhere that her feet didn't take her. And but you know, each step there was a success each time. So pretty soon she was driving all over, going to the Vietnamese grocery, going to see Vietnamese.
I can only imagine. Hey Tung, where do you go for good Vietnamese and other Asian ingredients?
The ingredients? Where do you go for ingredients? Good ingredients.
Good ingredients. Where?
But, yeah.
I don't know.
Asian.
Well, if anybody wants to cook out of your book, where should they go shopping?
Yeah, go Vietnamese Roses.
Go Vietnamese grocery, and it's on 160th Street Southwest down on Colonial Drive, and it's called Asian Market. And they really cater to the Vietnamese. There are also other places. I go to PK on Sunset.
Right.
So that's where I go.
Okay.
He goes to the Chinese market near PK. We go around, but the Asian market is the one who really has what Tung wants, and she buys by the case.
Okay. So I have a question, and it's a cooking question. Maria is asking for the spring rolls, is for the rice wrapper. All I found was tapioca flour as the main ingredient. She wants to know if that's okay.
Not really. You know what? The Vietnamese are getting sloppy in Vietnam. You know, they're using the primary ingredient, tapioca. What happens with that is that it sticks to your table. The first ingredient should be rice flour, and it won't stick. You can, but if the tapioca starch is the only thing you can get, then get it, but don't make too many at a time. You make 3 at a time so that it doesn't stick to the table. Right. And your table needs to be smooth. Right.
Okay. I have another question. Why did you decide to open a restaurant together?
Okay. I'll let her talk. Okay.
What happened? And before I made coconut roll, native rice, and began to cook soup, and I'm inside the car. And rice go 37 afternoon, and doing sitting, and the stuck no spill in the car every time. Oh my God, go home and clean an hour, no. And they finish the day, and if I have to buffet in the next day, and I not go, oh my God, no time. And I have laid a baby too. And I asked Kathy, and okay, maybe I go around and look to where they have some more room. And they maybe go rain or something. And Kathy doing sitting 37,
yeah,
and sitting and doing and go 80. And I saw the right one. Before I don't know the so right. And I saw the right one. I asked Kathy, what is it, this one? Kathy know, oh, so right. Kathy sit up and go ask the Mick Lemon, the boss, the landlord.
And that's how it started.
And she thought, oh my God, long time open, no money.
Okay, so in other words, she was cooking and selling to Vietnamese from a Vietnamese home. So we would cook the soup at home and take it over to the Vietnamese. But one day it spilled all over. And that's her soup. That's what she was going to sell. So and it made a big mess. So she said, let's find a place where we don't have to. So what did we find? We found a cheap place, but it was 2 stories. And we didn't know anything about restaurant, making a restaurant. We didn't have a designer. I see all these beautiful restaurants. And I think about Hy Vong and I laugh.
But I think before, no, I think no, my goodness. I thought maybe same như Việt Nam.
She thought same Vietnam.
And go right and try paper and open. America, have to go city. And the city come and pan and share.
That's what her job. Her job was paint and sand. And so
I know, oh my God. And the city come, they open, no good. Okay, about to share. And
they had to, we had to have fire-rated drywall. So we had to take it all down and put up. And then guess what she got to do? Paint and sand. She loved painting and sand.
Okay.
So it took us.
Don't know American before. Don't know anything. Her no told me either.
I didn't tell her. But
keep going.
So we had no money. And a man from my church, an older retired man, helped me build things. He taught me how to do partitions and stuff. And took us 2.5 years. 2.5 years to get open. And it didn't have air conditioning. And Tung was saying, like, open. I said, Tung, people are not going to sit here without air conditioning. We had ceiling fans, but it was hot. Right. So I got a book from the library, and I went to the wholesale, and I read the book and put the air conditioning in. And my line that I soldered lasted for over 20 years.
And who would have thought that when you opened, I'm sure it was a little bit after you opened, that you would have had that book outside of people to write their names and for you to have a 2-hour to 3-hour wait outside of your door just to get into your simple little delicious spot. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Because
Tung Nguyen had to sign in when she came to visit. And then it was equal opportunity at Hy Vong. You didn't get anything special. You had to sign in.
How long did it take you all? This is a question from somebody here. How long did it take you to write the book? And did you work on it together? Obviously you did. And what was the process like?
Oh my God, long time.
It took 2 years. We didn't know. We thought it was like opening a restaurant, like in Vietnam. But it took 2 years. But during that 2 years, it was really fun. We, up until that time, we had lived it, but we hadn't analyzed it. And so during the writing of the book, and Tung Nguyen was in it too, we all got to remember, and we laughed, and it was a wonderful project. Was it fun?
Yeah, sometimes have fun, sometimes have fights.
Sometimes have fun, sometimes fight.
Well, you guys, and I hope I don't step on your feet right now, but you're kind of known for fighting. You love each other. There's a lot of love there. And this kind of leads into a question that I had actually.
She's
what was it?
Me.
I know, she always has. What was it like? What is it like to live together, to work together? And let's talk a little bit about your daughter, because you raised her together. It was, such a tight family, and you really did everything together. What was that like?
So we had grandma too, my mother, because after my father died, my mother came to live, and she was very important too. We are different people. I used to go in kitchen and complain to myself, but out loud sometimes, right? And she would say, "You this, you that, and you know." And I say, "Look, if I depended on my self-esteem on you, I wouldn't make it. But I learned that I was good and that I'm loved, so I can take anything." So I didn't have to prove anything anymore. I had, and she agreed. We agree on the basics, on work ethic, on honesty, on no compromising, and so we agree on that. We don't agree on money, on selling, or restaurant, because I wanted everybody to taste things, because I thought that we were getting customers, and we were. But
Mấy cô còn hơi cái tasting.
yeah, she would be so mad because she cooked like pork rolling cakes, one by one by one. My neck was cut so many times. But who would order it? Remember, we were the first Vietnamese restaurant in Miami.
I remember.
And people came in looking for arroz fritos, right? They thought you're Chino. And
well, hold on. For those that don't know, you were on Calle Ocho.
Yeah,
and you were very close to Versalles. You were like right across this. I mean, you were right there in the heart of Calle Ocho.
That's
so.
And we thought that our Vietnamese would be our target market, because they were resettled behind there in the apartment building. But what happened is that when they came and saw me, they left. Okay, so families would come in. I started a gambling thing, because I would say, okay, to my busboys, I bet you $1 they leave. We would place bets, but we'd get them all set up and everything, and then they'd leave. But as the years went on, I learned Vietnamese, and I began to joke with them, and and also they became more acquainted with America too. So it was a growth, and so then they stayed. And what in the beginning we had Vietnamese girls with American guys, which was very hard on parents. I mean, that's really hard. But towards the end, we had Vietnamese guys with American girls, and I said, "They've made it. They made it."
Hey, Kathy, read something from the book, please.
Oh, read something from the book. Okay. Okay, yeah. This is okay. This is Tung talking at the end of the book. And this gives you an idea of her growth, her self-esteem. And this was, I love this. "Now that my story has been told, I feel free. For years, it was easiest for me to try to forget so many events in my life. Remembering those stories and all of their painful details has opened new wounds, but it has closed many too. I never realized that my story might be interesting to people. I never thought my story might even inspire others. For most of my life, I just wanted to belong. Cooking was how I belonged. I am so proud to have cooked food that made so many types of people happy. In Vietnam, I could never gain the respect of wealthy people. In America, my background and my status didn't matter except to other Vietnamese. American doctors, lawyers, celebrities, teachers, parents, and children all ate my food. They helped me, praised me, gave me the confidence to share more about my life. The first time I saw people at the dinner stand up and clap for me, I was overwhelmed. All I could do was cry and think they stood up for me. Someone from the country, someone who never finished elementary school. That's my favorite out of the whole book.
That's beautiful.
We made
That's
it.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Speaking of making it, someone out there says that your book was so extraordinary. They want to know if you'd be interested in the idea of turning it into a movie.
Sure. You know, yeah, sure.
Yes.
And we have an agent, you know. We have an agent in New York.
I've heard, and I think you need to ask your agent.
Yeah. So she has approached people for a movie, and
I think it would be beautiful.
Yeah, I think it would be too. And you know, whoever takes it and writes a screenplay can have fun with it. Yeah.
So I was asked what my favorite dish was at Hy Vong. I think, Kathy, you probably can answer that because I would order it and then I'd order another one and then sometimes another if you let me. You want to answer that for me?
Now I know. You know,
What
her
is it?
face used to just drop when I said we're out of them. And then I told her there's spring rolls, and she would smile again. But her face never got that big smile. Her favorite are pork rolling cakes.
Oh.
And I want you to know we taught you how to do them. And I'm going to buy you a pan and everything so that you can stay there and do it one by one.
I want Tung to make them for me. I really I'm not interested in making them. Nobody will make them as good.
Yeah. You know, but that was her favorite, pork rolling cakes. And then also beef and fresh rice noodles.
Oh my goodness. So another question. What did Hy Vong and life together teach both of you?
Okay. To me, okay, I'll go first. I go first, you go second. So what did Hy Vong, okay, let me interpret for her. What did Hy Vong and living together teach you? What did you learn? Okay, don't say yet. I'll tell. I'm first.
Okay, you first.
Okay.
Okay, you first. I don't know what I thought.
Okay, you think.
I think.
It taught me. I mean, actually, I learned to listen. That these refugees have a voice, and they need to be given the opportunity to have that voice. Do you know the only time that she would cry would be when I would say stupid. I would say stupid. I wouldn't call her stupid, but I would say stupid. And she cried because she didn't feel strong enough. Later, she yelled at me, you know. But learning to listen, learning how to walk home 10 miles. It's in the book.
I love that. I love that part of the book, by the way.
I love that.
So great. Oh, I loved it.
Okay, what did you learn?
What I learned? Oh my God, I don't know what I learned. I learned all the populace.
You learned all the public.
Yeah.
What did you learn about the public? Oh, that's good. They made you happy?
Yeah. I learned fight, I learned happy, I learned stress, I learned talk, how to roll.
How to grow.
How to open.
How to open.
Very important, open the mind.
Yeah.
I'm very happy. My heart.
That's beautiful. So the two of you are very strong, but you're also very generous and very kind. one
Oh,
person, Rosie, and I actually have this as a question as well. I was hoping that you would talk a little bit about what you provided after so many hurricanes here in South Florida to customers that didn't have power.
Okay. So, even in COVID, we have given food to the food banks. We have cooked. And I want to tell you, they love my brownie. So Tung and I have given to food banks to around our neighbors. We're always feeding them, always. Our neighbors are very special people and supportive, and we gave them we give whatever Tung cooked. We would take to a neighbor, or we wanted them to try. We have one little boy on the corner who he's 13, and he is allergic to everything, wheat, chicken, you name it. And he can eat rice, he can eat pork. So we took him spring rolls. He fell in love with spring rolls. So that's what we did.
So I think we should probably tell everyone that we're cooking together for the South Beach Food and Wine Festival.
Yeah.
wow.
That's
Wow.
exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to it. We're going to have fun.
Yes, we always have fun together.
You don't know this, but you were in a booth. You weren't there, but you had gone somewhere to give a cooking class or something. But at Food and Wine one year, your booth was right next to ours. And you were doing a beautiful foie gras. Beautiful, nice, fancy. And we were doing curried shrimp and crab, which is good, right?
Yes.
And I went over and I got a piece of your foie gras, and I brought it back, and I said, I wonder what it tastes like with curry. So I put your foie gras with curry, and I gave everybody a taste, and they loved it.
Well, then we should combine that together sometime. I would love that. By the way, somebody's asking for your brownie recipe. Is that ever going to become available?
Which one?
Your brownie.
Okay,
Wow.
yeah. We're going to do some things on YouTube, okay? Because right now we got to teach you to cook. I mean, we need people cooking. And really what makes us so happy, are you happy people are cooking?
Yes.
She is so happy.
Yeah.
She is so proud that they are cooking her food. She is so proud. So we're going to teach them a little more, because we're going to retire. There's only so much that we can do.
No.
You have been throwing that out there for a long time, Kathy, and we need to just put a big no on that one. No, that's not going to happen. You can't do that. You already closed the restaurant. That was enough for all of us to handle. I think you've rested enough. I think you need to give us more food.
You need to keep her busy. She's an ever-ready bunny. And really, I'm one that can sit down, read a book. She has to be doing. So the pop-ups and pickups are wonderful. Wonderful. And her garden is wonderful.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Do you have any more excerpts that you wanted to read from the book? Do you have anything else? Did you have one more?
That is, I marked those. Those are the ones I marked.
Did you read from 218?
That's the last, right? Yeah.
No, there was 218 and 220.
Okay. Oh yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is really Our pop-ups, which we continue to this day, based on what space is available, are some of the most fun we've ever had. My favorite part is watching Tung socialize. She didn't always have time to really do that at the restaurant. And for years, she was too insecure about her language skills. Now in her 70s, like I am, she jumps right into the crowd. At times, I have gone to the kitchen to look for her, only to realize that she was making the rounds of the customers without me. That's
lovely. That's lovely. Well, I don't know about you all, but I have enjoyed this hour with the two of you, and I miss you both, and I miss the smell of your food, and I miss your graciousness and your kindness. I know that you're always still there, but I knew where to always find you. So now I have to search you out a little bit further. So I wanna just thank you both for creating what you did in South Florida. You are part of the reason why I cook today, and you have really created so much passion and so much love in our fair city. So I want to thank you for that, and thank you for being so honest in this really just beautiful book. And everybody out there, by the way, I'm reading, everybody out there wants you to know how much you're loved. And I think you probably know, but you're so loved, and you mean so much to so many of us. So I want to thank you for that. Everybody, if you haven't bought the book, buy the book. It's beautiful. Mango and Peppercorns. It's not just for the recipes, but also for their story.
Try the recipes. Cook. Cook. I do. Yeah. I want you to know I make pork rolling cakes.
And I want to thank you on behalf of Books and Books for joining us this evening. To everyone watching from everywhere, remember, you can order from Books and Books. We'll ship it right out to you. If you're in Miami, you want to come by one of the stores. They're personalizing copies, so you can also order those online. And thank you so much. You brought us great joy throughout the years.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
I love you guys. Thanks, Christina.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.